Chair recognizes Mr. Garcia from California for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I want to just thank our witnesses for being here. I just want to just go back to something because it's truly crazy, some of the comments that have come out of this hearing. And I want to go back to something that was said about deregulating nursing homes, which was a completely shameful comment, in my opinion. It's been clearly recorded, particularly during the pandemic, that the deregulation of nursing homes is actually what caused likely thousands of seniors in nursing homes to die during the pandemic. And Ms. Katzen, I just want you to address that again one more time, because I was mayor during the pandemic, the entire time back home in Long Beach, California, and the issue of deregulation around nursing homes and our inability to actually meet that challenge caused countless loss of life. And so can you expand on that just a little bit? I know you mentioned that just a minute ago.
Thank you for your question. There had been a lot of efforts from 2010 on to increase the regulations of nursing homes, not only in terms of the training of personnel, but also the number of people who were taking care of people who could not take care of themselves. And they were fiercely fought by the industry. And when there was an opportunity, there were rollbacks on the requirements. Flash forward to the pandemic, and I cannot get out of my mind the front page pictures of people talking to their loved ones through windows and being unable to comfort those who were in nursing homes who then died as a result of a lack of care.
That's horrifying images that we all remember, and I want to remind folks that I think most of us are, I would like to think that we get elected to Congress and are here in government because we actually believe in doing the most good, and that we actually believe that government is actually here to actually help people. And so I'm one of those that believes that government is here to actually help people. And I know that we spent in this Congress the last week fighting about and infighting and losing control of the House and losing control of votes, and we're carrying on all these hearings. I mean, this hearing seems to be about fighting for big polluters and not actually people that need our help. And I want to talk about regulations really briefly as it relates to pollution. It's a huge concern of mine back home in my district. Now, in 1977, Congress, of course, passed the Clean Air Act, which we know delegating broad authority to the EPA to regulate air pollution. And I want to note that this has worked incredibly well. This was a major change, regulations passed with a lot of opposition, of course. In LA and Long Beach, back where I'm from, back before the Clean Air Act, we had over 200 days a year where air was either unhealthy to hazardous. I mean, horrible. It was much like the air in DC just last week. Now, just last year, those 200 days was reduced. Now, we had 27 unhealthy air days, and only one was actually hazardous. So it's clear that smart regulation, climate regulation can actually save lives, direct lives. Regulations around protecting people in nursing homes can actually save lives. And so we know that government intervention when necessary, especially against large corporations that really oftentimes have zero to little interest in helping people, actually works. So it's hard to understand why so many of my Republican colleagues constantly are fighting against basic laws that actually help and support people. And the other thing I just want to note, which I think is important before I yield back the remainder of my time, a lot of the regulations that we're talking about today also are helping communities that need the most help. And oftentimes these are communities of color, these are low-income communities. They're depending on us to survive, to live, and to provide them a better life experience. And just to the committee and to the chairman, I know a few weeks ago we had one of my Republican colleagues mention how important it was also to have diverse experiences and diverse witnesses when we have committees. And I just want to make a note for the record. I appreciate always having a diverse set of experiences as witnesses. And if it was important for hearings on DC, it certainly is important when we have discussions about regulations and how they impact people, especially low-income people, communities of color, every single day. And so that's something that I would appreciate seeing forward in future hearings. And with that, I yield back.